Well, I felt like that podcast went way better.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, I just had it. Hold on. Oh, if you don't know how to raise your own nerds, this is the way.
Oh my gosh, I'm writing that down. I'm going to write that down.
Can I write that down?
Okay, so if you don't know...
Or if you're having trouble raising your own nerds, or need help raising nerds, this is the way.
Oh, you know what we forgot to talk about is if we wanted to let our kids watch this episode.
Oh. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. We watched an episode with, I guess I was holding Bobby while we were holding it, and she was like reaching out to the TV, and I was like, yes. That's right.
Yep,
Drink it
pull
in.
the TV towards
Yes.
you. Use the force.
Of course, then she unplugged the TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after I
Oh,
put her
gosh.
down, I'm like, no.
Wait, was it with the force?
I wish. No, I set her
Nah.
down, and then she...
Because that would have been cool.
That's so cool.
Because then you would have been excited to tell the story, right?
Exactly,
That
yeah.
was the difference. Well, that episode went much better.
I feel like a little bit of structure helps.
Yeah, a little bit of structure helped. Writing this down, I know my notes seemed a little excessive at the beginning, but holy cow, like, every line, we spent like a couple minutes on every single one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no, every one of these points is valid. I think we got to sit down and actually like go through it,
Uh-huh.
not just like remember it, because
Yeah.
like we had to keep skipping around in the second half of the episode. Maybe writing it out actually was a big deal. Unfortunately, I did not do that for episode 12.
Can I just
Neither did I.
stop the video?
I started out. No, just leave it going. It'll stop when it's done. So my episode 12 notes are Baby Yoda, Repairman, Cable Guy, Cable Yoda.
Oh my gosh.
That's all the notes I have for episode 12.
Let's
Or,
see.
chapter 12.
Yeah, I don't really have any. I didn't have any notes for that one. The only animal in that one was that ferret.
The ferret thing.
I'm like,
Apparently, we saw them before.
did we?
Yes, we did. We saw
Oh.
them in the first season when they're going to the magma boat, the lava boat.
Oh.
Yeah, those
Okay.
little creatures. And according to the concept art, they breathe fire.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was watching
Why
the
didn't
concept
we
art at
see
the end of the
that?
episode, and I'm like, see, that would have been memorable.
Yeah.
I would have been like, what is that creature, and what is its
Uh-huh.
name? And I would have known.
There would have been a lot more resources to find that. At this point, it's like, oh yeah, they're.
Oh, it's a ferret. It's a dank ferret.
Exactly.
Well, I think my video is completely full,
Hey, that's fine.
so we'll have to do another one to start the next one. Not much of an after show on this one
No,
because I think we got everything we wanted in the main.
I think so.
So
The first one, we were just so like nervous. I think, at least in
Yeah,
my case,
yeah.
I was just like,
Same
what
here.
do I say? And this, it's like, since we had more structure, it was like
yeah,
we actually had something we were talking about,
exactly.
not so much. This is
This is who
us.
we are, kind
Yeah.
of.
obviously we have no structure for ourselves, but
No.
Star Wars is the structure.
Yeah, it is. Ben is here, my oldest son, Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hi.
I know that was really soft in the mic, but Ben is here. He was running interference for the kids that kept coming up to get drinks of water.
Yep.
You may have heard it throughout. It wasn't nearly as loud as my trying to move the laptop so you wouldn't hear the infinitesimally quiet fan. Instead, you heard me dropping the mouse on the ground. So that was successful.
Yeah.
So are you excited to do episode 12 and talk about that?
Yeah.
I am so excited.
I am excited because this is we're at the end here. This is the most fresh. This is nothing. Anything we say is all. Here's
It's all new.
everything we know.
I'm super excited. I'm sitting here going, man, when I watched that episode, I'm like, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
There's no way I can sit here and talk about chapter 1 and chapter 2 and just have this kind of stewing in the back of my mind because this is insane.
Yeah.
This is absolutely
when you
insane.
suggested, I was like, yeah, why don't we do this? Because
So we'll do some backtrack episode, and I think we might release. I think I might put up the episode 12, chapter 12 episode first, and then do the chapter 9 episode
Yeah.
later, so that it just gets a little more fresh. People are out and about.
yeah, that's
and
true.
Thinking
I
about
like
it.
that.
I like releasing it on Wednesdays
Yeah.
because not a lot of holidays on Wednesdays.
That's true.
Like we always avoid Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
For anybody who's listening, you're welcome to let us know if Wednesday releases work for you.
Yeah. Or
Not that it's really going to change much of what we do. One thing I noticed with my YouTube channel, if you have good content, people will find you, and people will watch, and people will listen.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to, it doesn't have to be during prime time podcast release stuff. You know, people will come back and listen.
Yeah.
It's fine. I think we're good.
It's all good.
So, what's going on new with your life? Your wife was diagnosed with COVID.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But
But
pretty sure she's going to have it.
Yeah, that's why you're wearing a mask.
That's why I'm wearing a mask. Just in case.
We kind of think it already went through our family.
Yeah.
We had some lung issues last year. So when COVID came out, we're like, that sounds a lot like what we had, where it was not able to diagnose what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It looked a little bit like pneumonia.
Right.
So Ladima and Lily got it bad.
Oof.
The rest of us, we kind of got sick for a minute, but then
That was me. I was
moved
sick.
on.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday I got sick. It's bad. It was, yeah. Then Monday I was like, oh, I think I'm a little better. And then today I was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, but
And
some people
Teddy's
it's really
like,
super mild. And Teddy's there.
I'm
She's
fine.
already dealing with the pregnancy issues,
Uh-huh.
and then on top of that, possibly getting COVID. That's not fun.
No.
Good survival rate, and not terrible stuff with
Yeah.
pregnancies. People,
Shouldn't be.
ladies are. I haven't heard of a single pregnancy
I,
having.
from what
like,
I've
super
heard,
bad
the
issues.
lady is fine. It's the baby who's the problem.
Oh really?
Yeah, you
There's
have a
maybe
higher
some
case of a
developmental
miscarriage.
issues. Dang, I'm
Especially if
sorry.
you're in the first trimester, which is right where we're at.
Of course.
But it is what it is. It's funny that I can find solace in Star Wars, because I do. I always just think when like something crazy like this happens, I think it's more like what Chirrut Imwe says when he's like, you know, all is as the Force wills. You know,
Yeah.
fear nothing. You know, let's see, the Force is with me, and I fear nothing, for all is as the Force wills. It's like it is scary, but it's what's gonna happen is gonna happen,
And was meant to happen.
it's meant to happen, and we'll get through it.
In real life, we call it relying on our Heavenly Father and
Yep.
relying on God, and in our fake world and everyday stuff, we
It's the
call
Force.
it relying on the Force.
Mhm. It's nice that there's always something there, whether in reality or in
In make believe,
In
and it ties
make-believe.
together a lot too.
yeah, we've got something we can rely on.
I always imagined that whenever we'd go to meetings with just the priesthood meetings. I'd always imagine like this is just a room full of Jedi.
Oh yeah.
That was always the equation that I had made.
We had a teacher.
Still can't move things with my mind or build a lightsaber,
I tell you.
but we'll get there.
Oh, there's one where I got a lesson. It was like, this is, you know, he's like, this is how you can be a spiritual Jedi. And it was like my favorite lesson ever. And all the old guys left like, that was the stupidest thing ever. And so
And you're like, that was my favorite.
I walked up to the teacher. I was like, that was like my favorite lesson I've
Oh
ever
my
had.
gosh, that's so great. They do some great stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, so my kids, they had fevers this morning, which was nice, but they didn't. It's at night, so go figure.
Well, kids are really resilient with it.
Luckily,
is my
yeah.
understanding.
But-
And that was the other thing too. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about my kids, but when they asked if it was okay to go back to school, I'm like, yeah. The way that it's affecting kids hasn't been bad. Obviously, we're not
Mhm.
doctors, so anybody who's listening to this, don't take our recommendations and our practices as
Yeah.
gospel. Consult your own personal
Doctor.
healthcare physician
Uh-huh.
for advice on what's going on.
Yeah, we know Star Wars, not medical.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's why it's starting to spread through our family, right?
Exactly.
It's because we are not medical experts, and
Uh-huh.
you know, we were really vigilant for the first 6 months or so, and then after that, it's like, really, are we really okay? Fine.
All right, I guess we're gonna keep doing this.
Yeah,
But
I guess.
yeah, I think that's it. I've been called the Star Wars guy by my sister now.
Oh, yeah?
calls me up and she's like, "Hey, this person says he knows Star Wars. I want you to make sure he actually knows it." All right,
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
that's fun.
I mean, I'm no expert in Star Wars, but I love it. I'm passionate about it. I may not know everything, but I'm passionate.
If there was one thing you could increase your knowledge more about Star Wars, like a subject, what would it be?
Oh man, I love the vehicles. I would love to be able to just look at a vehicle on screen and be like, "That's a this, that's a that." I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty close. I can't give you the exact designation.
Right.
Like I know, for instance, in Chapter 6, The Prisoner, they have a gunship that pops out to try to take out Mando, and the X-wings show up, and the X-wings blow it to smithereens.
Right.
I knew that was a Magna Guard starfighter. It's the same starfighters used by the Magna Guards, and also by Cad Bane. He has one that he uses as well that's modified. I knew it was that type of craft, but I couldn't tell you what it was. I can't tell you the name or anything. Like Gor Koresh. Like I didn't know his name, but now I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
I will know that forever because
Yeah.
I didn't know it in the moment that I needed it.
Yep.
I'm gonna mention him in every episode. Oh, it's like Gor
Gor
Koresh.
Koresh. What's he say by my? I swear by the
Gatra.
Gatra.
How did I got that?
You
I
got that? One. I was gonna say mantra, but that wasn't it.
By the
Gatra.
Gatra, which I think is another reference that we don't know.
Yeah.
I think I heard in another podcast somebody else talking that oh yeah, that's the Gatra is a thing, and I'm like oh
I was like, I never knew about
really.
it. Yeah.
So I mean I listen to Star Wars podcasts, but I like hearing people's opinions more than like the factual stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what I listen to. Like, I love the opinion stuff. Like, when they rank it, I listen to the Force Center podcast. And whenever they do a Star Wars ranked, I always listen to those.
Yeah.
Because I love hearing what they think is the best. And then I have my own opinions on the side.
I mean, that's really the coolest thing because as facts are facts. You can't really dispute those. But when you have an opinion, there's different perspectives you can see where it's like, I never thought of it like that. I mean, the one that keeps coming to my mind is like the one that Dave Filoni just like dropped his explanation bomb
Oh, gosh. On episode 1.
in the gallery. Yeah, when he talked about episode 1 where he's like, this is why Duel of the Fates, the fight between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul was so important.
was more important than Luke versus Vader
Yeah.
in episode 6.
Uh-huh.
It's like, what?
It was like, no one I think had really put that together until he said it. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
And that actually happens a lot with Star Wars. Is people will have something that they like, and people will have something that they don't like. And then if you get just the right person to explain it to you in a new way or a new perspective, suddenly you love that thing.
Yeah.
The Obi-Wan Maul fight.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
First time I watched it, well, that was short.
Oh, me too.
So I'm like, that can't be it. And so when Rebels finally came out, I had already listened to a podcast that somebody else had done going through the explanation. So when I saw that fight scene, I was like, I'm watching for this now.
Yeah.
And so the second time I watched it was after I had had the explanation of all
Uh-huh.
that stuff. And I'm like, oh. And so then, of course, I have a buddy who lives, 45 minutes away. And we do Zoom meetings because of COVID. We do Zoom games.
Right.
And we actually started watching The Mandalorian. Anyway, his wife says, I hated that fight. And I said, okay. And then for the next half hour, I just went off on how amazing that fight was. And by the end, they were sitting there going, we got to watch that again.
Uh-huh.
So it went from being the episode that stopped them from continuing watching Rebels.
Wow.
They stopped on that episode
Wow.
to them going back, starting the 3rd season all over again and watching through the rest of the 2 seasons.
Oh, man.
And all it took was a half-hour monologue
Of a different perspective.
about how cool that really is.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So cool. I mean, there's all those things you don't quite pick up or you don't see, and someone else is like, whoa, what about this? And you go, whoa,
Oh, yeah.
I never thought of that.
Here, Ben, hand me the phone. I gotta reset the settings because I think my internal SD card, no, the SD card is full, but the phone is not.
Ah,
So if I can switch where it stores the
memory?
thing, then we can record the next episode if you're up for it.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here like, Okay,
Ready.
okay,
I'm like, that
okay,
was-
we're ready. I'm like,
that
we
was
keep
the
talking.
warm up. That was the warm up, and now it's.
All right. So where do I go? How do I get to settings? More.
Settings.
Yeah, I gotta have the video.
That's
I keep
not it.
opening up. People will be like, "Where do you get such cool shirts?" And then T-Turtle will be like, "Hey, I'll send you free shirts if you wear them." That's my hope.
Yes.
I'm like, I will sponsor T-Turtle for sure.
Oh yeah, no, we will take that.
Yeah, I'll wear all your merch.
Oh yeah, I would too. I mean, I'm looking at a couple things. I knew I should have gotten it. Ladima mentioned a shirt from T-Turtle that she wants from the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Queel.
Ah.
I have spoken, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I have looked at that shirt so many times and been like, I think that would be good for Ladima. And then suddenly she's like, I would like that shirt. And I'm like, I should have gotten it when it was like everything was half off.
Yeah, well, they do that every like 2 months. So
They do. So it's not like it was a Black Friday exclusive thing.
yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do a couple things real quick. I'm going to stop this recording, export it real quick, see how long we actually talked. And then we'll jump into the next one. Woo!
What?
We are at 1 hour and 20 minutes
Oh gee.
on that podcast.
Your last one was like